Buffalo Bills, last week, a certain person on the show sitting in that chair said about 4 weeks ago to watch out for the Miami Dolphins, and then...
Yeah, no, it's amazing how that certain person who's being so humble, not saying his own name, knew that the Bills were going to be down 16 players at one point in that game. You cannot look at me and tell me that Dolphins team is better than that Bills team. Or that they deserve to win that game.
No, they do deserve to win that game. Actually, it's more Buffalo, you're right, did give that game away more than Miami wanted. But in the trenches, they did. And at the end of the game, listen, I know a lot of people are kind of over this. It was 6 days ago. But I'm sorry. That Ken Dorsey video is hilarious when you look back at it now that you're off to another week.
No, even after the loss, because I was laughing. I was upset with the loss. I'm laughing at him. Because my favorite part, my brother brought this up on the Let's Go Duffalo podcast, available on Odyssey and wherever you get your podcast.
Shameless plug.
Thank you. He didn't have anything heavy to smash. So, like, he just had papers, and he's, like, aggressively, lightly throwing papers on his desk, which was, like, that's the most embarrassing part. Also, whoever covered the camera with their hand, hey, about 15 seconds too late, bro. What are you doing?
What is Miami right now that they lead the AFC East?
They're a pretty good team.
Yeah.
How good? I don't know yet.
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
They're so good that their quarterback threw for under 190 yards.
Against the worst defensive secondary, perhaps, in the
NFL.
AFC.
At one point, you had a rookie first-round pick at corner, two safeties that combined for one start, and an undrafted rookie free agent from UB playing against Jalen Waddle and Tariq Hill. And Tariq Hill was held under 33 yards.
And the defensive line was missing guys, so they didn't even have a rush that should have been elite.
But meanwhile, the Bills were down to their third center, right? I mean, look, I'll tell you what doomed them. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Kevin. That 19-play drive in the third quarter that took 12 minutes, the Buffalo Bills, they didn't cash in at 7 points. And at the end of that drive, you saw it was like Jonestown, man. You had bodies all over the ground, multiple offensive and defensive linemen. The Bills spent all the energy they had. It bit them. It ended up costing them that game. I'm convinced of it.
I would agree. I mean, the announcers kept talking about the Miami defense and how this has to be depleting them, but same thing on offense. You're expending just as much energy. So, yeah, they looked like they had nothing left when they got the ball back after the butt punt. So maybe it's not a surprise they couldn't pick up that.
I will say this.
necessary yardage.
I think it's the best loss of the year this early in the season. This is why. It's happening week 3, not the second round of the playoffs or an AFC championship game.
The only bad thing, and maybe it's not a bad thing, but there are so many built-in excuses that, I don't even know, is it a loss? I mean, how seriously is the loss?
Yeah.
I mean, some losses are, yes, it can be a wake-up. This one is like, well, how could we have won?
Exactly. I mean, look, you're going to see the Dolphins again. There's no way the Dolphins keep pace win-loss-wise with the Bills all season long. I'm not worried about this at all. I am very nervous about the game against the Ravens, seeing as how you see them once. The Ravens look like they're going to be in contention for that first overall seed in the AFC. Lamar Jackson scares the hell out of me, and you still have all of the injury situations that you were dealing with last week, depending on what happens with Ed Oliver, Jordan Phillips, Poyer.
And more injuries.
Yeah, absolutely. Tommy Doyle, a reserve offensive lineman who you would need to start possibly this week, is out for the season.
Is this a must-win week?
I mean, there's no must-win week 4 game. However, this could be the difference between a playoff game against Baltimore in Buffalo and a playoff game against Baltimore in Baltimore. So if that's a must-win, yes.
How do you call it?
The Bills, for some reason, as we tape this, are still favored by 3 points, which with all the stuff is insane. I don't think the Bills, even as depleted as they are, can lose back-to-back conference games. I have the Bills, and I have them doing it by more than 3.
Calling it?
I just worry about what Lamar Jackson can do, much more than what I worried about what Tua could do. So I would, Josh Allen, and now they're not in that heat, though, that crazy oppressive heat, but I got it a 1-point game, and I'm not going to, I don't know who. So whatever the line is, take the point.
And the Bills are not good at close games.
Yeah, they are 0 for their last 7 in close games. But to your point, if Tua did what he did last week, right, Lamar Jackson's got to be at least a 4 or a 5.
Yeah,
We'll see. I see shootout. I see shootout all the way. I will call it Bills late, and we'll break the streak. Let's go 28-25. How about that?
I'll take it.
There you go.